MMA Weekly here with the Natural, Randy Couture, who's scheduled to face Mark the Hammer Coleman at UFC 109, February 6th at the Mandalay Bay.
That's right.
So where are you at in your training camp, Randy?
Training camp started about 3 weeks ago, and it's going well. Yeah, I feel good. Just this is my third camp back-to-back, so I just feel like each time we step back in, we're just kind of picking right back up where we left off and adding some new things on the ground and continuing to refine the striking, and obviously each and every guy I face poses different problems. Mark poses a different set of problems than Nogueira does, or Brandon Vera or whoever. So, brushing up on the wrestling, getting some more wrestling, which is something that was pointed out to me by Brandon very clearly, that I didn't bring enough top wrestlers in to go against. And kind of gotten used to getting into those positions and being able to take guys down fairly easily. And I think that having a guy like Linland, or now I'm spending a lot of time with Nick Fichetti, who's an All-American at Michigan State, who's a top-notch wrestler. You have to work a little harder to get those guys out of position and to take them down. And Brandon pointed that out. It was a little flaw in my training camp, I think. And obviously, I can't make that mistake with Mark. So.
Are all the other training partners that you're working with pretty much in-house, though?
Everybody else, well, Nick is one of our guys too. He's in-house too. I should have used him for the branding camp. Just didn't. He's working a regular job as well as fighting and fight training. So it just didn't. Did spar with him some, but we didn't focus specifically on wrestling. So we're in this camp, obviously facing Mark. We're focusing specifically more on some of the wrestling stuff and continuing to develop the ground skills and the catch wrestling, not jiu-jitsu, but catch wrestling stuff with Neil. But I really, really like.
How do you feel about your last fight now that you have some perspective on it?
I felt good. The performance was good. Again, I think I got a little tunnel vision early in the fight, the first round and a half, 2 rounds, because I expected to be able to put him on the ground. I trained to be able to take him down and hopefully dominate the ground fighting piece of it. And he proved to be very difficult to get out of position and take down. I think a lot of people gave him credit for being as good a fighter as he is, and certainly as good a wrestler as he is, because he rarely shows that. I knew going in, but should have, I think, spent more time, like I said, with some top-notch wrestlers. But overall, I felt performance was good. I clearly controlled the first round and won the first round, and opened up in the third round, shifted gears, and won the third round. But he kicked me in the liver in the second round. It was I was happy that I was in good enough shape to recover from a liver kick. A lot of people don't. So, I managed to finish out the round and get back up and finish the fight strong.
So in a way, that fight with Brandon really prepared you well to come into a fight, to come into a camp with Mark.
In some ways, I think because it pointed out to me that little flaw in my training perspective, that obviously I don't want to roll into Mark perpetuating that same mistake. Mark is an even better wrestler than Brandon. He wasn't a Greco guy, which is a big difference. Mark was a freestyle guy, a leg grabber. But he's still a very, very good wrestler. He's a very powerful wrestler. He's got a great wrestler's base. So those are things that obviously going in, I need to be aware of, and I need to refine some specific tactics for that wrestling realm.
So it kind of underscores you're still learning at this game, eh?
I think when you're done learning, you're done winning. You're done competing at this level. I've always kept an open mind and realized there's so many facets to this sport that there's always something to learn.
You scouted Mark for a fight with him at UFC 17. That was 10 years ago. Oh, God, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's 12 years ago.
12 years ago. What's changed about Mark since you first scouted him?
Oddly enough, not a lot has changed about Mark. His style of fighting and him as a fighter is not a lot different now than it was back then. He's a very straight-ahead fighter. He's got good horsepower. He's no secret. He's going to try and throw big bombs and find a way to put you on your back. And he's got a good wrestler's base. He's going to park himself there and try to beat you up from the guard or the half guard or wherever he ends up. And he's not a great submission guy. He doesn't throw a bunch of combinations. He doesn't pick his feet up and try to kick. He's just a good, solid, powerful, explosive athlete and wrestler.
Has the style matchup changed at all?
Well, I certainly think I'm a lot better fighter now than I was 12 years ago. A lot different fighter, a lot more well-rounded fighter. So I think the style has changed. I think I've got a lot more options available to me than I would have had fighting Mark back then.
Before your last fight, you said a fight with Lyoto Machida was something that you were interested in. Is this fight about staying active and sort of staying in the mix, so to speak, while the contenders like Rashad and Thiago Silva and of course Lyoto and Shogun, they do their rematch? Is this about sort of staying in the mix and staying poised for another shot?
I think you take opportunities when opportunities come. This opportunity came to fight the Super Bowl weekend here at Mandalay Bay. They asked me if I'd step up and be, on the main card as one of the main events for the show. I'm healthy. I'm training well and feeling good. Mark's a tough guy, and it's a good matchup for me. So why not? Does it put me a step closer to title contention in the 205-pound division? Probably not, but certainly neither one of us at this stage of things wants to walk away from the fight with a loss. Again, I continue to compete and do what I do because it's what I love to do, and this is another opportunity to go out and show some of the skills that I've been working on and continue to be in shape and be a good fighter.
You and Mark have known each other for a long time. Is it surreal having to fight him?
No, it's not surreal. I've fought Tam, I've fought a lot of guys that I know real well. It's the fight game. That's what we do. We're in here just about every day punching guys that are our best friends, for practice. So, this is really no different.